Hi, welcome to my final video on the pre-semester Excel worksheet I've been asking you guys to practice with. Here, for number 8, I've asked you to construct a frequency table. When I start working on and teaching you module 2, we'll tell you what a frequency table is, but you really don't need to wait for that. It's pretty common sense. A frequency table is a table that tells you about the frequencies of the items that are happening in your data set or exist in your data set. So for example, in this data set, if someone asks you to construct a frequency table, basically all they want you to tell them is to what items you got and how many of each you got. That's basically it. So here, you notice you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, right? So those are your items. So you just list them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like almost organizing your numbers. And so basically you count how many ones there are. So you have 1, and you can use different colors or tally marks. So that's 1, 2, so I don't have to reuse them again. So you have 2 ones, so you have 2 of those. How many 2s you got? 1 there, so let's use a different color for 2. So you got 1, 2 there, 1, 2 there, 1, 2 there, and I don't think there are any other 2, so 3 2s. So the frequency for 2 is 3, so you got 3 of those. Let's see how many 3s we got. Let's use green. Oops, not there. Let's use green here. So we're looking for 3s. That's one of them. That's another one. That's another one. No more 3s. So I got 3 3s. So I got 3 of those. Let's count the number of 4s. So I got 1 of those. So 4 is there. Let's use blue. So you have 1 4. You have another 4 there. I think I need more 4s. So you got 2 4s. 5s, you got 2 5s. I don't need to use a color because I'm down to only last few numbers. So I got 2 5s, and I have 1 2 3 4 6s. So that's what we call a frequency table. You basically, it's no big deal. You know, you don't need to wait to listen to a lecture. It's just basically all it is. You just list the numbers and list how many of each you got, and we call that a frequency table. Well, we got another frequency table before I do 9 and 10. On 11, we got another frequency table, but it's not made out of numbers, it's made out of letters. It doesn't matter. It could be made out of anything. It could be geometric objects like triangles, circles, or it could be pens and pencils, or it could be tables, or it could be whatever. Your objective is to list the items here and tell me how many of each there is, almost like an inventory of your database. So here you notice you're dealing with A, B, C, D, E, F. Well, there's no E. Oh, it looks like these are grades, so there's no E. There's no E, then you don't put it. So A, B, C, D, F. So those are the items A, B, C, D, and F. And you basically want to know how many A's there are. So 1, same thing, 1, 2, 3. There's 3 A's. As far as I could see. Your eyes could play tricks on you for these exercises, so be careful. Let's count how many B's there are. I got 2 of them there. So let's use yellow so colors won't mix up. So 2 B's there, 1 B there, 1 of them there, 1 of them there. And that's it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 B's. Let's look at C's. I got 4 of them there, so let's use a different color there. So I got 4 of them there, 1 of them there, there, and there. I think that will do the C's. So let's just count how many oranges there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there are 8 of those. D's, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 5 D's and 1, 2, 3 F's. See, again, same way as before. That's how you construct the frequency table. Now here, remember, I counted the 2's and the 3's and the frequencies by literally counting them. There is a command in Excel called COUNTIF, in which it allows you to take the range of data set that you're working with and tell it what you're trying to count, and it counts it for you. So I could show you. The command is COUNTIF. Then you select the range of values you're trying to count, comma, then you tell it what you're counting. Here you're counting the 1's, so you say, I'm just counting the 1's. There it is. There are 2 of those. Okay, see, so again you can just copy paste this, Control C, enter, Control V, paste it. Now instead of ones, what are you counting here? Twos, the three of those, see? And then paste it here again. Now you're counting the threes, so change the 1 to 3, see? It gives you the perfect count. Now you're counting the fours, so it's just basically instead of counting it manually, Excel is counting it for you. Here you're counting the fours, so you just type I'm counting the fours. Here you're counting the fives, so let's just change the counting, it's called the criteria, the 5. And here you're counting the sixes, so let's change the criteria to 6. So you notice you get identical counts. Obviously you should have, because it gives you the right answers. So you could also use the COUNTIF command in Excel to do the counting instead of counting it with your fingers. Alright, number 9 asks you to plot it. So I've given you 2 sets of numbers, x's and y's, and I want you to plot it just to get a feel for, of course you can manually plot it. These are ordered pairs. You did this in algebra, 1 and 5, 3 and 10, and so on. But you could also do it with Excel. Just so you know, the area where you do graphing with Excel is under the insert command on top. So you click on insert, and you'll see the chart group right there. This is all the charting that takes place with Excel. Here for XY, you want a scatter plot. Let's see, I'll go over there. See, I just plotted the points. You could plot the points by connecting the lines like that, you know, curved, do all sorts of things. But I just wanted to plot the points, so I'll just go with the basic scatter plot. I can delete that Y there. So here's my points 1 and 5, there it is. 3 and 10, there it is. 5 and, actually it's not 5, it's, oh, there's a 5 and 15 there. So 6 and 4 right there. So anyways, you'll see the points here. So there's the plot of these ordered pairs on Excel. Now you could right click on a dot and say add data labels. It tells you what the coordinates of each point is. And you could also right click on one of these points and say add trend line. It just adds a line, sort of. It gives you a line of best fit, which we'll talk about in module 8. It's too early, but nevertheless. So let me just get rid of that. I'm talking about the trend line is too early. So all you had to do was to just plot the points. And then ultimately it asks you to find a bar chart. Again, you select the table. You go up here to insert. You go to, this time, the histograms and bar charts right there. And you can do a 2D. You could do a 3D. All sorts of things. You could do it like sideways. So I'm just basically asking you for a simple bar chart. Now we'll talk about the difference, but there's a difference between like almost like unnecessary difference, like irrelevant difference, the difference not used much around, but it exists, the difference between histogram and a bar chart. So this is a bar chart, which means the columns, the bars, are not connected. So when you're drawing a histogram per se, or a bar graph, let's put it that way, that's the most common name for it, bar graph, a graph made out of bars. When you're doing a bar graph, if you don't connect the bars, then you call it a bar chart. If you connect the bars, then you call that a histogram. It's just, there's no reason or rhyme for it. It's just, that's what somebody called it. So if I ask you for a bar chart, then you draw it like this and leave it, because a bar chart is supposed to have disconnected columns. But if I say do a histogram, you have to right click on one of these bars, go to format data series, and where it says gap width, just change that to 0, and it just kills the gaps. And now you have a histogram. Thank you.